All right, what's going on, guys? We got a trade or a market recap today for Thursday, March 27th. I didn't take any trades today. If you just zoom out here on the 15-minute chart, you can see that price has just been within this range here. We came down upon market open. I wanted to see these lows get taken, but we dumped so fast that there was no entry to these lows, and we took this right when market opened. And then if we go to the 1-minute chart, well, first of all, let's just go to the higher time frames. What was my bias today? My bias was bearish because we have this SMT at the highs within the weekly fair value gap, similar to yesterday. We did still have room to fill in this new week opening gap. There was still room down here below this 4-hour sell side liquidity. But yesterday we sold off we had a big sell off yesterday, opening up this 4-hour SIBI on both ES and NQ. So then going into the 15-minute chart, we barely tap into it on NQ, but we tapped into it on ES, and we put in the swing low here, and we tapped into it and started to get bearish reactions out of it. So I wanted to see further displacement to the downside below these swing lows, and then potentially find an internal model to this 4-hour sell side. But like I said, if you just go to the 1-minute chart, market opened right here, and there was an SMT here, but there was just no entry. It got taken within the first 3 minutes of market open. And then after that, we took this liquidity. If we go to the hourly chart, it becomes very clear that this was a liquidity sweep. Fully filled in this gap here, this new week opening gap. Swept this liquidity and then pumped to the upside. Now, once that happened, I was looking for a pullback to a 5-minute fair value gap. Once we ran through all the bearish imbalances within this range here and started to displace higher, ES was actually a little stronger, seemed like. But once we started to displace higher and open up these 5-minute fair value gaps, I was looking to get long on one of them. We did come back down and tap into this 5-minute here on ES and in Q, actually. We opened up and tapped into this 5-minute fair value gap. But if we go to the 1-minute chart, there was no 1-minute bearish fair value gap that opened, so there was no inverse fair value gap entry to be had here. In addition to that, I was even zoomed into the 30-second chart. ES was stronger at the time. I was even zoomed into the 30-second chart. We ran through this 30-second bearish imbalance, but because I normally enter on a 1-minute inverse fair value gap after tapping into the 5-minute, so I wasn't going to enter just strictly off of a 30-second inverse fair value gap. I wanted to see a 30-second inverse. We just placed above this swing high here, and I wanted to see a pullback to a 30-second fair value gap. So I actually had my limit order set right here on this 30-second bullish fair value gap. The trade would have been something like this. Stops below the swing low. Take profit 1 at the internal high here, and then take profit 2. The main take profit would have been at this external all the way up here. But as you can see, we never pulled back into it until we already took the internal high. And after we already took the internal high here, after we already took the internal high on ES, on NQ, we hadn't, right? So there was a bearish SMT for the longest time, and once we finally pushed past and got rid of that SMT after chopping around for a while, there was simply no other entry for me to be had, and the market just pumped to this buy side liquidity here. So we have now taken this high within the 4-hour fair value gap. We'll have to wait and see what kind of higher time frame structure forms after tapping into this right here, because yeah, this is now a period in the market where we have to sit back and wait for structure to form. and there's no trade to be had. We've already taken both sides of the range, and want to see whether or not we're going to inverse this 4-hour or respect it and start to form structure and respect it to the downside. Obviously, I would love to respect it to the downside, but we do have to keep in mind that we are still technically within this daily bullish for value gap. So kind of going to have to wait for the market to pick a side here, see whether or not we want to respect this 4-hour for value gap or not. And that's going to give us our bias for tomorrow. If we do respect it and start to get bearish reactions out of it, then what we can do is target this 4-hour sell side liquidity tomorrow, the swing low here. This 4-hour swing low would be the market structure shift low for the 4-hour time frame, because if we close below here, then we could expect us to take this weekly sell side liquidity. What we could be doing right now, though, is putting in that another 4-hour swing low here, come back up, maybe chop around or remanipulate the highs, or something of that nature, and then this would then be our market structure shift low on the 4-hour time frame. That's all speculation for now, but that is potential. Or we could just come up here, start to form structure a little bit overnight and during a London session, and then this could become our market structure shift low right here that we can target and that we can look for displacement through to then target all these low resistance liquidity, all this low resistance sell side liquidity. But so yeah, I would like to be bearish. I would like us to hold this 4-hour imbalance, and but we'll just have to wait and see what, like I said, what actually happens, what structure actually ends up forming here, and whether or not we respect this 4-hour for value gap or not. So that's the market recap today. No trades for me. So yeah, man, we'll have to see what plays out tomorrow. Tomorrow we should be good to trade. Let me check real quick. Yeah, we have consumer sentiment news at 30 minutes in the market open tomorrow, so we're going to keep that in mind, but we're good to trade tomorrow. There should be some good news, some good volatility with the news coming out, but right now it looks like price is pumping, so we're going to have to wait and see. But appreciate you watching. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.